Hello everyone, welcome back to All Financial Discussion channel. For this video, I'd like to continue the discussion on S&P 500 ETF. To be more specific, so this video, I'm going to concentrate the cases for international-domiciled S&P 500 ETF. This is mainly for investor that is actually outside the USA. I actually so-called stay in Singapore. So basically this video, I will use Singapore as a case for this international domicile. However, this video is also valid for those who live outside Singapore. So basically this will be the objective of this video. Before I continue, guys, I'd like to urge you guys to help me by like this video. Guys, just give me a few seconds. Press the like button now. For those who are new to this channel, and if you want to encourage me, please consider to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. Let's come to the disclaimer. So this is actually not a financial advice. Please conduct your own independent research and consult a professional if needed. Never invest more than you are willing to lose. With this, we are ready to kickstart today's discussion. By now, you probably have heard that Fed actually cut the interest rate by base point of 0.25 at December 2025. This is in fact very bullish for USA stock. For example, this S&P 500 index is a very attractive USA stocks. So what is actually inside this S&P 500? In fact, there are top 500 companies in USA. For example, over here, you can see that Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook are actually part of the company inside this S&P 500. In fact, Warren Buffett said this, for most investors, the best investment strategy is to own an S&P 500 index fund. Why Warren Buffett say this? Let's take a closer look on the data. For example, this is actually S&P 500 annual percent change for 30 years. So there are actually these are all for 30 years. From here, so if I have actually jotted down the numbers, over here you can see that out of 30, 23 are all green, which means that you have a chances of 76.67% that S&P will be green next year. So therefore, this makes investment on S&P 500 very attractive. And also, over here, this table actually shows the average return of the S&P 500 index over the last period. For example, last year, they actually has an average return of 12.1%. During the last 5 years, the average return every year, which is 16.4%, total return is actually 113.7%. And if you further see all the last few years, you can see that the investment of S&P 500 in fact is very attractive. Next, I want to do a quick comparison between US domicile versus international domicile. Let's start with the US domicile first. So US domicile ETF, for example, they are actually trade on New York Stock Exchange. The fund are actually legally domiciled in the US and therefore they are actually regulated under US law. For example, the biggest S&P 500 ETF, they are BOO, SPY, and IVV. Next will be on international domicile ETF. So this is often under this UCITS framework. So this UCITS actually stands for Undertaking for Collective Investment in Transferable Security. So these are all domiciled overseas. Commonly we have Ireland or Luxembourg, but they actually trade the same underlying index S&P 500. For example, we have CXPX and also BUAA. CXPX by BlackRock, while BUAA by Vanguard. Next, I'm going to discuss on Singapore investor of US domiciled S&P 500 ETF. Although I mentioned Singapore investor, this portion is also valid for people that actually don't stay in USA. There are in fact three disadvantages, for example, for Singapore investor to invest into US domiciled S&P 500. For example, the first clear disadvantage will be the dividend withhold tax. This is because Singapore does not have a dividend tax treaty with the US. So therefore, the dividend that is actually paid out by the US domiciled ETF to Singapore investor, they are in fact subject to a 30% US withhold tax. This means that roughly a third of dividend income is lost before it actually comes into your account. Next will be the estate tax risk. Okay, so this is mainly for non-US resident. Okay, so any non-US resident person, when they actually hold more than US dollar 60,000 of asset, for example, if you invest into US domiciled ETF, this is actually considered as US asset. At the time of that, okay, they may be exposed to US estate tax up to 40%. Okay, so this is in fact not valid for people that is actually under this day-to-day investing. Okay, so but this can be very risky for people that is actually invest for long term. So you need to be concerned about this estate tax risk. Next will be on a dividend dragging compounding. Okay, because a large part of dividend is actually withheld, which I mentioned earlier on, 30% under this withheld tax. This reinvestment or compounding of dividend, in fact, will be less efficient as compared to those with lower tax alternative. Over decade, this tax drag can add up. That said, the US domiciled ETF like VOO, SPY, and IVV, they still remain very popular with Singapore investor because they are often highly liquid, which means that you can easily sell, easily buy. They have a very low expense ratio and also extreme widely trade, which help them with ease of buying and selling, and also the tight spread and minimum tracking error. Okay, so basically, this is what I have for Singapore that actually invest into US domicile. These are all the disadvantage, but having discussed on the disadvantage, for some, okay, where they actually invest in a daily basis, for example, this is still very, very attractive for them because of the low expense ratio. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why Singapore investor still buy the US domicile S&P 500 ETF. Coming to Singapore investor that actually concentrate on international domicile S&P 500 ETF. Definitely, okay, when you actually invest in the international domicile, if you don't stay in USA, you are going to have a lower withhold tax rate. This is because of this tax treaty between the US and usually the domicile country. For example, Iran. Okay, so the US source dividends actually distribute to the ETF face a reduced withhold tax. So instead of 30%, it become 15% for the country, the so-called trade at Iran. Next will be the accumulative share classes. Okay, so many ETF offer these accumulating share classes. This means that dividends are automatically reinvest within the ETF rather than distribute out. This can significantly improve the compounding and net return over time for long-term investor. Next, avoids US estate tax exposure. Okay, because the fund is domiciled outside the US, investor typically avoid the US estate tax risk associated with holding US domiciled asset. Next, this is in fact more efficient for long-term compounding. The combination of lower withhold in reinvestment of dividends and absence of estate tax risk tends to favor this ETF for long-term buy and hold strategies, which is common for retirement or wealth building portfolio of Singapore investor. So over here, you can see that, for example, when Singapore investor actually invest in US domicile, we have three disadvantages. However, this is still very popular because one of the main reason is low expense ratio. This is for Singapore investor that is actually invest under this international domicile S&P 500 ETF. You can see that there are mainly these four advantage. Let's discuss in depth on the withhold tax. For example, okay, let's say if you don't live in USA, okay, so let's say you invest into S&P 500, you actually receive a dividend of USD $100. From here, you can see that there are actually two sides. On your left will be US domicile ETF. On your right will be the international domicile ETF. What will be the key difference? For example, if you invest into VOO, okay, which is the US domicile ETF, okay, so what happened here is basically when you actually receive the dividend under this US domicile ETF, there won't be any charges. However, for me, for example, I actually stay in Singapore. I'm actually subject to this withhold tax of 30%. So finally, instead of $100, I will be only able to receive $70. So this is actually basically the case for Singaporean, okay, to invest into US ETF. Next will be on the international domicile ETF. For example, if let's say I in Singapore, I actually invest into this CXBX, okay, which is by BlackRock, and basically because of the 3D, okay, between this CXBX, which is domiciled in Ireland, because of this tax treaty between US and Ireland, so instead of 30%, they only has just this 15% of this withhold tax. So therefore, from here, you can see that I actually will be deduct this 15% from this withhold tax. And because Singapore actually has a treaty with Ireland, so therefore, I will not be having any more withhold tax. So therefore, from here, you can see that, okay, I will be able to receive USD $85. So if we do a quick comparison, okay, for example, for Singaporean that actually invest into US domicile ETF, and also for Singaporean that is actually invest into international domicile ETF, you can see that for those that actually invest into US domicile ETF, finally they will be only able to receive USD dollar of $70 over here. While if you invest into international domicile, you can see that I will have a more favorable return because instead of $70, in fact, I will be able to receive this USD $85. So from here, you can clearly see that, okay, if people don't live in USA, it is actually more favorable if you invest into this international domicile ETF because under this international domicile ETF, for example, Ireland, they actually has this trade treaty with USA. So therefore, instead of 30%, they only charge this withhold tax. Let's say for this case for Ireland, is only just 15%. So basically, this is why it is actually preferred to invest into so-called international domicile ETF if you don't live in USA. If you find this video okay, useful, okay, so please help me by like this video. Guys, just a few seconds, help me to press the like button. When more you guys actually help me by like this video will have a better chances to reach up to a larger audience. So guys, help me press the like button now. For those again who want to show support, please consider to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. Let's come to the conclusion. Okay, for example, for Singapore investor on this international domicile S&P 500 ETF. Okay, so basically for this international domicile, we have CXPX, DUAA, and SPY5A. Okay, so this is actually best. Okay, so if you are a long-term, okay, set and forget investor. Remember, this is for Singapore investor on international domicile S&P 500 ETF. So this is mainly for long term and you actually want to do as little as possible as an investor. Next, you also want to have a lower dividend withhold tax because of the tax treaty between Ireland and US. So instead of 30%, the withhold tax become 15%. Next, you actually prefer automatic dividend reinvest, which means that if you receive dividend, they actually so-called reinvest back to this international domicile ETF. So this is what it means. So as little thing that you need to do as an investor. Last but not least, you actually want this tax efficiency and simplicity. And in fact, this is mainly for long-term investment. Next will be for Singapore investor under this US domicile S&P 500. So basically, these are all your consideration. Okay, so basically for US domicile ETF, we have VOO, IVV, and also SPY. So we actually invest into US domicile when we actually don't stay in USA because we want to have the maximum liquidity and also the lowest expense ratio. Okay, so basically these are the two important consideration. For example, if you want to have the lowest expense ratio, then you probably need to consider the US domicile S&P 500 ETF. Next, okay, you actually prefer to receive periodic cash dividend, okay, which means that the money is actually not reinvest back into the S&P 500. So therefore, with this, you actually will be consider this US domicile. Next, you don't mind the 30% dividends withhold tax. Okay, so basically this is the key so-called distinguish. Okay, so basically if you are willing to accept this 30% withhold tax, then you can consider this US domicile ETF. Next, you actually prioritize the exact tracking of the S&P 500 with very tight spread. Then all this will be the reason why people don't stay in US, invest into US domicile ETF. So for most Singaporean long-term investor, okay, so this UCITS accumulating ETF, for example, CSPX and BUAA, they are in fact the smarter choice. They are more tax efficient, they automate compounding, and they are much more easier to hold for a long-term basis. So for those that actually choose this US ETF, this is because you strongly value liquidity, cash dividend, which means that you actually don't reinvest back. You actually prefer to receive cash from time to time, or and also the minimum tracking difference. Okay, so these are only comfortable with a higher tax rate, which is 30%. Okay, so basically these are the two options. Okay, for Singapore investor on this international domicile ETF, these are all the reason. And for people that actually invest into US domicile, if they don't stay in USA, these are all the reason. Let's come to a quick conclusion. Okay, so this table actually do a quick conclusion. Okay, which is the US domicile and also the international domicile. So I have already explained that this withhold tax for this so-called US domicile, if you don't stay in so-called US, you actually subject to this 30% of withhold tax because of the strong tax treaty between US and Iran. So instead of 30%, okay, we are going to have this 15% of withhold tax. Next will be on this estate tax risk. Okay, so basically for under this US domicile ETF is actually considered as US asset. So therefore, if your asset is more than 60K, this can be potential so-called become an issue. Okay, so for especially for those invest in the long-term basis. So this may not be having any effect for those that actually invest in a daily basis. Okay, so please consider under this tax estate tax risk also. Next, in terms of the suitability for long-term investment, okay, so under this US domicile ETF, this is actually less efficient, okay, because of the tax, and we are going to receive lesser compounding interest. Okay, so therefore, it is always highly recommend for Singapore to invest into international domicile. This is because we are going to have better tax efficiency and also better for compounding and long-term growth. With this, I'd like to end my discussion. Please help me to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much.